Warning: the opinions discussed in this video do not necessarily represent my own views. Rather, it is a rationalization and analysis of marginalized opinions. In my first video, I covered the argument for why generic cards are better than archetypal design. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go and check it out, because this is the second and final part of this mini-series. Here we'll tackle the other side of the argument. We have a rebuttal. Archetypes are better than generic support. One of the main reasons for this is because it allows for the existence of multiple competitive decks in the game at the same time. But Master Fox, surely generic cards have led to diverse formats in the past, right? I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that has not shown to be the case throughout Yu-Gi-Oh! History. Without archetypes, there's basically been zero diversity. This is because the best combination of 40 cards will always win out over another combination of 40 cards. Think of the past decks: Summon Skull Beatdown, Cookie Cutter Chaos, Go Control, Diamond Dude Turbo, Teledad, Synchro Cat, Plant Synchro, Dino Rabbit, and most recently we had a deck called Hat. Before I get a dumb question again, I'll lay the smackdown. But Master Fox, Black Wings competed over Synchro Cat fine. I remember, I actually played that format. Guess what? I did too. And Black Wings are an archetype. Without archetypes, you won't get deck diversity in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's a simple fact. We can see that by looking at the history. But then, how do other games do this? Magic the Gathering clearly has done it for the past 20 or so years, but how? Yes, they have. Magic the Gathering kind of cheats in a way though by using colors. I talked about this in the previous video, but you can consider colors as pseudo-archetypes. And this is how the game can survive with basically all generic cards fine, because archetypes are built into the game overall. Sure, you can build a deck that has all the colors in it, but chances are it's going to be bad. As bad as if you built a Dark World Macro Monarch Lightsworn deck or something like that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hearthstone has a similar formula using classes like Hunter and Mage as their pseudo-archetypes. Therefore, Konami eventually found a way to solve this problem in Yu-Gi-Oh! By making archetypes in the game. This is because they didn't build archetypes into the game rules or having some pre-constructed archetypes, therefore they had to build these into the cards themselves. This is the only real way that we can achieve deck diversity in a format, by manufacturing self-contained decks that can't really be mixed and matched with one another. Let me give you an analogy. Generic cards would be like if in the game Super Smash Bros. Melee, you could pick all of the special moves and customize a character. Obviously, this would lead to the killing of diversity, as everyone would take the best moves. For example, they would take Fox's down B, his reflector, and people would continue to take other special moves that were basically the best of that special move and then build it together to make the most broken character. Then everyone would play the same customized broken character. The same goes for Yu-Gi-Oh! Now in Super Smash Bros. Melee, obviously this custom character doesn't exist. The game separates the characters, and thus we have a tug of war of balance in essence, similar to how archetypes do it in Yu-Gi-Oh! Each deck has its own unique strengths and weaknesses that can be capitalized upon or exploited, creating a sort of balance in diversity. Although this is not flawless, as sometimes the design process does go wrong, or Konami pushes a archetype much more than another archetype, and then we end up getting one deck that's much more powerful than everything else. Think of decks like Pepe, Dragon Rulers, and Spellbooks, for example. Maybe it is intended though, as I mentioned. I don't know. What I do know though is that in the game that Konami has created, archetypes seem to be a necessary evil in order to have deck diversity in the game. That brings us to another argument though. Is deck diversity truly good for the game, or are mono deck formats actually good because they are skillful, because they force you to play the mirror match and know your deck better than your opponent? That is a valid argument as well, but that is outside the scope of this discussion. So that's pretty much it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you for archetypes or generics? That's it for this video. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you.